Mic'd up.
What happened to me?
Mic'd up.
It always happens. The guest always goes off momentarily. We are live. Hello, folks. While Michael puts together yet another attempt at playing the song, welcome to Coast to Coast with your hosts, Adam Snyder, Michael Miller, and Frankie the Yankee.
Thank you very much for that, Adam. I think that's the best way we've done it so far. Is I play the stupid music and you come in and do your thing.
Filler. It's called filler.
It's called filler. It's called filler. Well, I've got lots of filling in my gut. I was at the doctor today, and he let me know that's not good.
Did you have another? Did they put that colostomy bag that you've been talking about for so long?
No, they didn't, and Kramer didn't tell us about his colonoscopy again, so that's good. So welcome to our show. We've already introduced everybody, so I want to tell you guys that are listening live, hit the microphone on the bottom of the screen and leave us a 30-second message. Matter of fact, leave us 7 30-second messages, and we'll get to as many as we can.
There is no limit.
There is no limit to the number that you can leave. So what's the plan for today?
Going.
You ask. It's like Passover. What's the plan for today? It's one of the 4 questions. Today, we're going to do our typical This Week in Yankee Baseball, and then we'll get to the topics of the day, which is John Sterling, who announced his retirement, having an event for him tomorrow, Saturday, his best calls and strangest blunders. And we also asked you guys to send us your favorite calls and blunders from any baseball announcer ever. And as usual, we're also asking for trivia questions, which we are confident we will not be able to answer, but we'll play them on the air and make believe we know what the hell we're doing. So that being the case, what we'd like to do today is go around the horn, starting with one comment on Yankee pitching. Let's hear it from Adam first.
I'm concerned with, again, the continued overuse of the bullpen and the underuse of the starting rotation. Guys, they're throwing 100 pitches through 4 innings. It's getting out of control. Now, I get everybody's using the same model, which is to get deep in the bullpens, look at a lot of pitches. That seems to be the big thing now. So you can wear out your starters. But I'm worried the Yankees are going to suffer in a month or 2 if this doesn't stop, because they can't keep waiting for Cole to come back to get their 8 innings. They need someone to step up. I'm glad that Nestor did it, but then he didn't do it the next time. They got 5 2, 5 1/3 out of Stroman. They got to get more innings out of these guys, or we're going to have a very ugly summer.
What do you think, Frankie? What do you think about any comments about the pitching?
Well, I think my concern is Cortez right now. I mean, he had that one good game, but that was against the Marlins. And then he looked terrible. And he's got to go into 6th or 7th inning. We're gonna, like you said, we're gonna wear that bullpen out. And but the funny thing, the losses they have is because they're not hitting.
Yep. Well, we'll get to that in a second. My comments on the pitching is you need more strikes from Rodon, Schmidt, and Heel. That's the only way they're going to be able to go later into the game. Cortez didn't throw as many strikes his last outing either, but they're not getting enough strikes, and that means they're throwing more pitches, which means they're going to burn out the bullpen. So I'm on the same page as Adam. And then, of course, it's the human tightrope, which is Holmes as a closer, but I still think we're spoiled. Hey, we did have a comment come in with regard to Yankee pitching, and we're going to play it.
All right, I'll admit it. This is a little off topic, but I got to get your guys' opinion on this. The latest from the reincarnation of Satchel Paige. I'm talking about Nestor Cortez. His latest move, the pitch fake. Do you think Major League Baseball is going to crack down on him this season, just like they did a few years back with Carter Capps and his hip hop off the mound as he delivered a pitch?
What do you guys think of that little fake pitch thing that he did?
I don't know. I mean, it seems like they all know it's coming, so it's not like it's a surprise.
Well, I mean, he did something different, and not just his delay. He did one of these.
Yes, yeah.
Which
looks like it had a lot of balk in it to me. I'm surprised
that's not a balk, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, we'll see what they do. I mean, his other hesitation pitch and stuff like that. I like when he goes back to that, and I like when he drops down.
Me too. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah, there was a game. I think it was yesterday. I don't know. It was the Indians game. Sorry, Guardians game. Asti probably saw it. They called a balk on the starting pitcher. There's a new rule. They call it the David Price rule. You have to announce when there's a man on third base whether you're going to pitch from the stretch or the windup. And
Wow.
what happened was he pitched from the windup for one batter, and then the next batter came up and he was pitching from the windup and never announced it. So they called a balk, and the Guardians guy on third base got to score. That is a joke. I mean,
That's
he was clearly in the windup. He was standing facing the batter. It wasn't like he went into the stretch and he was sideways. That's just such a garbage thing. And they called that because of David Price, who looks like he's throwing from the stretch every pitch, but when there's nobody on base, he doesn't have to stop. It's terrible.
Oh wow.
So the extra stuff, I don't know if they're going to crack down. The other thing I noticed, I was watching the Giants game the other day, and I forgot who they were playing. It might have been the Dodgers, but they were really harassing Peralta. They kept calling for the baseball to get it thrown out like he was scuffing it. It was interesting to watch. That never happened when he was on the Yankees, so I'm curious what the heck was going on. All right, Yankee hitting. Frankie, you started off. What do you think about the hitting this week?
One thing, the good thing, I like Stanton's swing now. I mean, he seemed more balanced. You see that home run he hit yesterday? It wasn't all arms like usually. It looked like the perfect swing. I'm impressed with that. The rest of the team, I don't know. Judge finally, got a big hit yesterday, but I have more concerns about him than anybody. Is he hiding something? Is he injured? I mean, this is a few weeks in, he still doesn't look like Judge.
What about you, Big A? Any comments on the hitting?
Yeah, Volpe is another man out there right now, and and I'm going to give it. He's the best all-around player on this team.
Oh, without doubt.
He is wonderful at shortstop. I love what I see. I wish he makes some stupid mistakes, but that's because he's young. But he is going to be a stud for years. There's something about the way when he learned to stay within himself and he's going the other way. If you can sustain this, it's going to be a beautiful. You're looking at a 300 hitter, a 400 on base percentage, and a guy probably going to hit 20 home runs. Well, has he gotten one home run this year?
He's got one,
which I love. I don't want him to hit that many. When he's trying to swing for the fences, he's not going to hit well. He needs to get on base. I love that he steals bases. I just think he's a great all-around player. And I'm actually a little concerned. He had 4 strikeouts on Tuesday.
2 games ago. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then he had a couple of swings and misses on Wednesday. It got me a little nervous, but I don't think he's the best all-around player. It's a long season. It's only 2 games, but the best all-around player on the team and perhaps the best hitter since Mattingly, if not even better than Mattingly, is Soto. The man is incredible.
Soto's the best all-around hitter I've ever seen, but I think we'll see how he plays the field.
So far, I mean, he's got 2 assists. His defense has been good. He hasn't misplayed anything, and his base running's been good. And the way he carries himself on the field is just
he's great, but he
might as well play in our league.
I think he misplaced a couple over his head like a couple weeks ago. I mean, if we
I think there was one that he misplayed over his head.
Yeah.
He's having a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh, God, and hopefully, hopefully Judge has started after yesterday. Maybe that wakes him up.
I have to admit one thing. I know I was in the minority, and I was dead wrong when I said last year, the offseason, about trading Labor Torres. I know I was dead wrong.
Can't stand it. It's killing him.
That's on my list.
I mean, he's
got more. And I want to talk about that too because I have some thoughts. I brought it up today in a chat. I want to talk about it a little bit when we get it.
Well, what kind of chat?
I'm just worried about him. What? Well, you and I chatted earlier. I think that there's maybe I did. Maybe that was my brother. I wouldn't be surprised if this is going to be an interesting thing when DJ comes back.
Oh, yeah, you did say that.
What happens? What happens to? Is this an opportunity? Are they going to stop playing this kid who's doing so well? Ozzy. Is Ozzy exposed if he plays a lot more? What if he's actually found a spot and he's found it and he's going to hit? I know he can feel better than Torres. So do we put him at third? Do we preserve the foot and move DJ to second? Is second easier for a first base for a guy? Probably third base is probably easier. So, I mean, I think that there's hope that they can make some moves here.
Well, if they don't want Oswaldo batting right-handed, the easiest solution is every time there's a right-handed pitcher,
he plays, and he's the one that moves back and forth because he's more versatile than either Torres or DJ. And you keep playing him against the right-handed pitchers, which, about 60 to 70% of the pitchers are right-handed anyhow. But, Torres can't be this bad for this long. It's really getting bad.
But I mean, I don't care about the hitting as much. I think that he's a mental eggplant out there. I can't believe how badly he plays second base. I mean, it's horrible, and it's porous, and
It's lazy. It's
compared to what
lazy
they
is
have
what it is.
around him,
It's lazy.
and it hurts them. They lose games. They give up runs. His numbers have to be. I'm sure the metrics are not kind to him right now.
I will say this.
Sample size.
I will say this: the throw to third base the other day. Out of the way, Adam. The throw to third base was the right thing. He was going in the correct direction to throw it to third base, and I think Cabrera wasn't ready. But then he olayed the ground ball, didn't put his body behind it. Whereas in the last out of the game, you saw exactly how you feel the ground ball to your left that you have to go down for. Volpe knows what he's doing. He's so lazy. Oh, here we go. We got a comment on our friend Glaber right away. Live comment.
When LeMahieu comes back, he should be playing second base exclusively. Get rid of Gleyber Torres. He sucks. And when Rizzo needs a day off, you move LeMahieu to first base. And if Gleyber's still on the team, let him play second base on those days. Other than that, Gleyber Torres has to go.
So, in a surprise,
how do you really feel, Todd?
There you go. And a surprise, that's my youngest brother, Todd.
Don't hold back on us. I totally agree. But I don't know about him playing second. I don't know about DJ playing second. I think that will be hard on his feet. Third base is better option.
Yeah. And, God knows how long he's going to be out. I mean, this is almost a Joe Osty conversation since he's the doctor. It went from a nothing to now he's out a month. He's a month already. Yeah. I mean, that's ridiculous. The other thing is I agree with Frankie on the hitting. Stanton has been actually very consistent for the last 2 weeks. He's done exactly what you want. Verdugo seems to have settled in a little bit. Trevino got a couple of hits. Wells is not hitting, but Torres is killing them. So the one thing I do want to comment on, their defense has been awful. Specifically Rizzo and Torres. And Rizzo is more surprising
than
than
Rizzo.
Torres.
What's happened to Rizzo? Is it just a bad pass? I mean, do you think? Please don't tell me there's a holdover from the
concussion,
head injury, from the concussion. Do you think that could be? Get Dr. Joe on the phone? Get him on the. We need him.
That was a constant. His defense was always there. But.
Yeah, Joe noticed that he's not moving he's not moving off the bag as quickly as. When he was on a couple of weeks ago, he said he wasn't moving off the bag. He was too stationary on the bag, on the scoops and things like that. So that was an interesting view by him.
Have you ever noticed when it was a ground ball to him? Even if he could take the 2 steps, he makes the pitcher run over there.
Yes. Well, at least the pitcher runs over there. That's kind of nice. It's good, and it's not it's not a guy like what was the name? What was the guy's name that pulled his hamstring every time he went over there? Oh, Severino. Gets hurt every time he had to cover first base.
Who, by the way, is pitching lights out for the Mets, of course.
Talking about Severino, I mean, what did Carlos Mendoza know that the rest of the staff didn't know?
I don't know.
He's got a 2.1 ERA.
And King just pitched 7. King threw 104 pitches and 7 2/3 innings yesterday too.
Yeah,
so we'll see. With Severino last year he was bad, but other than last year, it was never about whether he's good or bad. It's being on the field.
That's true.
And King, you know what? You got to give up something to get something. And quite frankly, King's the only
do that deal
every time. King's the only guy that's contributing over there.
Would you make that deal 9 times? If you had 10 times to make that deal, would you make it 10 times?
Yeah, I would.
Yes.
I'm a little disappointed that the Yankees aren't taking advantage of Beater and Warren being up, and that would make me feel better. But we'll see what happens when the Yankees need some starting pitching depth. And where did Poteet? What the hell was that all about? The guy,
not bad.
Nice. They got him from Florida, right? He was out with Tommy John surgery last year or something like that. Yeah. That came from nowhere. That's unbelievable. So anything else on the Yankees this week? We have nothing to bitch about Boone, which we usually have something to bitch about, and we haven't anything to bitch about with Boone.
I think he's done a good job. I think he's done a good job so far. It's nice when you're 13-6. I mean, what can you how bad can it be?
And the lineup, he's keeping the lineup the same. And I got to give him credit. We're upstairs because I still don't believe he makes the lineup. I think they send him the lineup, and he has the choice to edit it or not edit it, and then he doesn't. And I got to give him credit. He's letting them play. They're playing every day. Anything else before we get on to the words of the day? So what we want to do first is we want to let you guys know that there are other shows on the Mic'd Up app. There's the Jim Darby show. It's every other Wednesday. He had one yesterday. He's a former Easton sports executive and author. And he has a book called Bears and the Bigs, featuring all the Cal Bears who've reached the major leagues. And he also has insights to 40 years working in the sporting goods industry, his contact with players in in Major League Baseball, as well as the NHL and the NFL. Another show which we do need to mention is the Rick Barry Show. Rick Barry, former NBA and ABA star and Hall of Famer, Golden State Warriors legend, and 75th anniversary NBA team member, has a sidekick named Cyrus Satz, and he brings his fiery personality, and definitely, before we get to our next topic, he does get a little Bob Grant, John Sterling-like when he gets on his shows and responding to callers. And last but not least, our friends over at Highlights from Lowlifes, weekly on Wednesdays at 6 Pacific, 9 Eastern. They play in the same baseball league. They are the combination of pop culture and sports, at the crossroads of pop culture and sports. And if they would put their shows up earlier, I would get to put in comments, although I think they put it up later so that I wouldn't make any comments for yesterday's show.
It's highly possible.
It's highly possible.
I got a
they avoided
compliment. They said I gave my best question, my best answer yesterday. Ezra Mermelschwanz. They gave me a lot of credit for once for doing it well. So
they were ripping me a new one. Well, they were ripping me a new one last week on their Hall of Fame show and saying that I was going to pick all Yankees, and I didn't pick any Yankees to go into the Hall of Fame. So that surprised them. So we'll see what happens. So, and again, for those of you listening live, please feel free to leave us a message, because we absolutely want to play your messages over the air. And you just touch the microphone and leave a 30-second message or 7. So, topic of the day: John Sterling is retiring. Good, bad, indifferent, and what do you think of his career? Mr. Frankie the Yankee, you've known him the longest.
He's far, he's gone, but he's a little wacky, but I kind of like him. I know Adam doesn't like him. I mean, the blown calls, okay, but he's got a great set of pipes, though. I mean, that man can, as an announcer, he's pretty good, and I think he's, it got a little too far. First started with the Burn Baby Burn, and then Robbie Cano, but then he got himself stuck in it, and he had to keep going. He couldn't stop. I mean, I think he had more complaints if he stopped it than continued it. I mean, but it did, the A-bomb, and it started getting bad. I mean, the Stanton call, I still don't understand it. So, I mean, that part, but if the fans like it, I mean, it seemed to like it, let him go. But, I mean, he's a professional, though. I give it, I just hope it's not, they say it's not health, but it's not like someone who's a real professional to say, well, I'll wait till the end of the year to say I'm leaving now. So, but I wish him the best,
So, speaking of his home run calls, I found this clip on YouTube where he's explaining where they came from. So I'm going to play it now, and then you guys could hear that, and we can talk about it. And then Adam, you'll chime in.
Because some of them are pretty intricate. So, what's the process?
Well, most of them have come at the moment. But then when it became kind of a cottage industry,
right,
which was not the idea, now I'm supposed to do one for every player. Well, writers give me some, fans give me some I think about. Some of the best ones happen because it happened. A-bomb from A-Rod. It's an A-bomb from A-Rod. Robbie Cano, don't you know? Robbie Cano!
So there you have it. He says it's not just him anymore. He gets them from people. He started out, it was his, and then he said it just became a cottage industry. What do you think, Adam?
I think he's full of pus. I think it's all. It's all about him. It's always been about John.
It is about him.
I know I'm not going to make any friends. All 8 of you out there listening, probably 7 of you disagree, but I have long been tired of it. I thank God for Mother Nature has actually come in and finally moved the needle and gotten him off the air. Retirement is, I can only say it should have happened 10 years ago. For a lot of years, I drove a lot. And I was in the car listening to many Yankee games over many months, many seasons. And I would hear these calls. This is how I got my Yankee games. So unlike the rest of you who would be watching it on TV, I'd be listening. And I had no idea half the scores. I still don't know what the scores of any of the games for the last 5 years. He never tells the score. He never talks about the game. He talks about his own thing. He talks about piano bars that he likes to visit in Chicago, and I love that. Wonderful. I don't care. Talk about the game. I have so if you're getting a sense that I don't enjoy it, I think that I have, honestly, of all of us here, I can say for a fact, he never has been very good at telling, at talking about the game, which is what I care about. Beautiful pipes, absolutely, my God. But beyond that,
Frankie, I don't think we should let Adam speak as a eulogy at anybody's funeral. Oh my God, he want nothing good of the dead.
Well, not everybody could be Vince Scully, and I don't think Vince Scully would work today anyway. Because one man in the booth is never going to happen again.
I have a great Vince Scully story. So my son Max and I were driving down to San Diego for a hockey tournament, and about halfway down, you pick up the Dodger games. And I said, I'm putting on the Dodger game, and he said, why? I said, because you got to listen. And he listened for a couple of innings. He goes, is that guy by himself? And I said, yeah. He goes, he's fantastic. And this is about 7, 8 years ago, or maybe even 10. And Vince Scully was by himself, and he couldn't believe how good Vince Scully was. He just couldn't believe.
It had to be 7, 8 years ago, maybe even longer. When I was, I listened to a lot of games like Adam, but the thing I have the luxury, I have the app, and when they start to annoy me, which could be the second inning, and not just be John Sterling, I go to the other teams, and sometimes, believe it or not, they're worse. A lot of times say, wow. And one time I listened to Bob Uecker by himself. It was like it was a kid all over again with a transistor radio, escaping and visualizing everything to the game, which cannot happen now in their defense anyway because of all the commercials and the sponsors. It's one spot, and not everybody, and I don't think anybody's even close to the Yankees with their sponsor
every pitch.
Not every pitch. It used to be every inning. Then it's every pitch, and then everybody's sponsored from. It might not even be on the corner. Well, that was he painted the outside corner, and Certapro painters can paint your house.
Exactly.
Hey, listen. They need the sponsors. They need the sponsors to pay my salary with the A's.
Well, I mean, and now, like I said, with Susan Warman, my mother and grandmother used to have a saying, and that God knows they lived by. They were saints. And it was, if you don't have anything nice to say about somebody, don't say anything at all. And like I said, they were saints, me not so much. I would, in her defense too, she's there just to read commercials now.
That's all she does.
That's all her job is.
And he won't let her do anything else. But I don't want to hear her do anything else.
But to me, maybe I shouldn't say anything, but she can be the most annoying, arrogant person on the air that I've ever heard. I don't know.
I couldn't agree more. There's only one thing I hate more than John Sterling calling a game. It's John and Susan.
I know.
It's like I feel like my Aunt Dottie and Uncle Gene arguing over the capon at Thanksgiving.
So living out here, I've had some good. The A's actually have some really good announcers. They've had some good ones. They had Bill King. They have Ken Kurak. Ray Fosse was really good. The woman that they hired this year, I don't know her name. She's actually really good. And then they hired Chris Carey, who is the grandson of Harry Carey, is I believe. He is also doing some TV for them. So the A's have had some really good announcers. What's really funny to me is, John Miller moved out here after he left the Orioles on ESPN. And I didn't really like him on ESPN, but he's unlistenable.
Is he?
Unlistenable. And don't get me started on Kruk and Kipe. I can't, these guys, the Giants fans love them. And just like I don't dislike, I happen to like Sterling. And I like Sterling for the same reason they like Kruk and Kipe. But Sterling at least criticizes the Yankees. but
Yeah,
he's
that's
the
true.
type. They just have
We-
generalities.
And he also, to be fair, he gives, if the opposing team hits a home run, some of these announcers I've listened to, like the White Sox over the years or something, if say the Yankees hit a home run, it's like they're reading a eulogy. It's like, oh yeah, there it goes, another one.
Yep, Hawk Harrelson was the worst at that.
Yeah.
So there's one person who became much more of a stereotype and a caricature of himself than John Sterling did, and it's this guy. He used to be good. Now he's not on the air anymore, and it's a good thing.
Swing of the bat could do it. This could be it. Back. It's gone.
Berman became a caricature of himself with his back. It used to be good, and then it was bad.
I have a funny one here. We have a text from your brother, the other brother, saying, what about Rizzuto? Now, for those of you who don't know, Phil Rizzuto, I think everybody knows, Phil Rizzuto was also known for being less about the game. But I never had a problem with Rizzuto. I don't know why. He was bad, but they had Messer and they had Bill White, and they were so good at calling the game that I didn't care about the fact that they had one clown in there.
And years before that, they had Garagiola in there with Rizzuto.
That's right. So 1 second.
Seaver.
Oh.
Oh, wait a minute.
Listen,
no sound. Shit.
Sorry. There was nothing.
This is one of my all-time favorites.
There is nothing better than listening to Rizzuto call Bill White or Whitey. It was the best.
Listen. He just called himself Bill White.
Yes, he did. He called himself Bill White. Listen, my brother Todd chimed in again. And Adam, you'll like this. You ready? So will you, Frankie.
Susan is worse than John.
That's all he's got to say.
Thank you. I'm telling you, it's like two yentas sitting there talking over over what their beauty parlor appointment's going to cost. It's absolutely horrifying.
Well, it doesn't bother, sometimes, like say the arrogance, she doesn't come across, she knows, first of all, she's a pioneer, give her all the respect in the world. I mean, what she's done is amazing. There's only 30 jobs of that in the world, and she's got one of them. She's held it. She's done it well. But there's always sometimes there's a little bit of arrogance, especially like she's talking about another team, and come to bite you back in the what. She'll like the starting lineups, and she'll go, instead of saying the professional, they don't hit very well. They don't hit for average. They don't hit home runs. She'll say this team is outright terrible. They can't hit. It's like almost like she can. And I'm going to give you a quick story of someone, a friend of mine, and I'm not going to name names, of course. He had friends in that business, and he worked in, I can't say what he did, but he was invited to, we were going to dinner at a restaurant, and she was there. She was invited. He sat by her, and he said to her, just to break the ice, he said, "What do you think of so-and-so who did the Yankees just got as a pitcher?" Her response was, "I can hit better than him." Well, no, you can't, Susan. You can't hit better. I mean, that arrogance even there at a restaurant, gives credence to what I've always believed. She every once in a while it comes out on her.
I would like the Yankees to take the opportunity to let her go and let her go gracefully and just start afresh with whoever it is. Uh-oh. It's time. I see him coming. There he is.
Oh, God. He's made an appearance.
All right. So my brother chimed in again with Susan. So let's see what else Todd has to say.
I'd only give it to Susan Waldman now. That would be even better. All we need is just another day of, oh, my goodness gracious. Roger Clemens is in George Steinbrenner's box. Oh, my God, he's in the box.
I'm going to pee my pants. Did she say that? Did she actually say?
Yes. She was just like, couldn't believe that he was in there.
She actually said that.
I didn't want to go there, but I have friends who are from Boston. I like a Boston accent, but I don't think a Boston accent should be announcing Yankee games. That's just me. They're not going to have somebody in Boston.
You mean, oh God, John.
John. We shouldn't have a Boston person doing Yankee games. But
I think they should let my mother and my mother-in-law, who have vicious New York accents, do the Red Sox games.
yeah, there you go.
That would work out perfect. It would be great to listen to those two. I mean, my mother, she's got it's oh my God. With the R's with the R, her friend Linda, her name is Linder, and my son does a great impersonation of my mother and my mother-in-law, and they'd go get some coffee, and it would just be great to listen to the New Yorkers do the Red Sox game.
Well, when she said, I heard her say, "Oh, I got to go get a bag of quatters," and then I had a heart attack when I heard Susan. I totally agree with you. There's something that doesn't work.
All right, so I got to play something. This is for the benefit of Osti. I'm going to do this just because Joe Osti likes it. These are home run calls, but they're TV home run calls. But Osti will like this.
Some might call that ball Istanbul, but I call it Constantinople. You can stick me in a long Italian boat because that ball is gondola. And somebody better inject me with penicillin because that ball is gonorrhea.
Is that Frank Azaria?
Yes, it is. It is Brockmeyer, but that was
Great show.
Brockmeyer's calls, and I had to play that because Joe Osti will get a kick out of it. I think that the gonorrhea one is the best. Somebody better inject me with penicillin because that ball is gonorrhea.
I got to tell you, that is, for those of you of our 8 fans, if you have not seen a great baseball television show, that's it. Brockmeyer.
Yes.
All right.
Do you guys have a favorite? Do you guys have a favorite Sterling home run call?
Yeah, I do. Do you have wait a minute.
Which
do you have
one?
the one from the from Fenway Park, the Stanton one?
No, I'm talking about a good call. We'll get to that one.
A good call? Oh, I don't like any of them. I'm sorry. None. Maybe when he goes back to back and belly to belly.
Belly to belly, yes. I like that.
I do find that funny.
Yeah, I do.
Do
you have that?
Back to back. I have a back to back and belly to belly. I actually do.
Oh, here it is. I got it too. Ready?
Yeah, go ahead. You play it because mine's a little different.
Hold on. I don't know why I'm not getting any sound out of this.
Well, let's go to a comment.
Here it is.
Okay, go ahead.
Here it is.
Jam, tap, go. I knew this bar. It is gone. Jam, tap, go. Frazier. Clint Frazier homers to deep left, and Sanchez and Frazier go back to back, belly to belly, and the Yankees take a 4-0 lead.
I do like I like back to back and belly to belly.
I like back to back and belly to belly. That's funny.
So but as we get through it, obviously the first one he ever did was the Bernie Williams one, and I'm trying to find it. I had it, and I don't know what I did with it. I'm very upset at myself. Well, I'll find it at some point before I die. How's that? But there are other home run calls. So I want to play one that somebody sent in for us. So here's the call. Here's the call in from Robbie Lanterman from the Highlights from Lowlifes.
Hey guys, Robbie from the Highlights from Lowlife show here on Mic'd Up. I think my all-time favorite baseball announcing awkward moment would have to be this one. This is from my friend Gary Matthews when he was a color commentator for the Philadelphia Phillies.
What's going to happen is that you jerk off the ball. Almost want to let this guy here jam you, and if it comes, it comes.
Did you guys hear that? I'll play it again. I've got it here set up as well. Here we go. Listen very carefully.
It's our call from the last season, I think. Last season, yeah.
What's going to happen is that you jerk off the ball. Almost want to let this guy here jam you, and if it comes, it comes.
I mean, really? And then we got this one.
So that was a pretty good call by Gary Matthews. And I think Robbie is friends with Gary Matthews. You got to jerk off the ball, and if it comes, it comes. That's a good one. Rob Weber, also from the Highlights from Lowlifes, chimed in, and he said this.
I grew up a Cubs fan, so Harry Carey was our home team announcer most of the time, and he was great on the faux pas. He'd get pretty hammered on the air, and I remember him saying, Billy Williams slides into second with a stand-up double. That's just one of the great Harry Carey-isms that I've heard.
So I will say this. His quote is accurate. Billy Williams slides into second with a stand-up double. But it was Jerry Coleman who said it, not and Harry Carey's had more than his fair share, especially when he used to broadcast from the bleachers. Because not only did he tie one on when he was in the booth, in the bleachers, he was tying one on and they were helping him out. So
one of the best of all, I don't know if there's a Met fan out there, but Bob Murphy used to be great. He was, first of all, again, another golden voice, but he used to say, Felix Mian hits a towering lane drive. I used to love it. It was he always messed up the towering line drives, but this guy had a voice that could kill you. It was like butter.
I used to like Jerry Coleman a lot when he was in the booth.
I never heard Coleman.
I was old enough to remember him.
Long time ago.
Did Coleman ever do any national stuff after he left the Yankees?
What's that?
Did Coleman ever do any national?
No, he went to San Diego. He went to San Diego.
That's right. Yeah,
and then didn't he manage them for one season too?
I don't know, but he went there pretty much.
All right. So I found the Bernie call. This is the Bernie Williams home run call.
Seattle. It'll be a 3-2. Swung on and hit high in the air to deep right. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. Bernie goes home. He kills a home run the short way to the right field seats. Burn, baby, burn. And the Yankees tie the ball game at 1.
So that's
the rest is history.
The rest is history. So here's a good home run call that I think is historic. That everybody should know.
The sound effects. And stay a professional and pitch his game. 1 ball and no strikes. Aaron waiting. The outfield deep and straight away. Fastball is a high drive into deep left center field. Buckner goes back to the fence. It is gone. Marvelous moment for baseball. What a marvelous moment for Atlanta and the state of Georgia. What a marvelous moment for the country and the world.
So, have you noticed that he was silent through a lot of that?
20 seconds. I counted it. 20 seconds. He did not say a word. He let the moment sink in. That's something. Could you imagine Sterling doing that?
No,
never.
You remember when Cal Ripken did the? He came out after breaking Lou Gehrig's record. They threw him out of the dugout, and he circled around the stadium. The announcers were quiet.
Buck, that was Jack Buck.
Yeah, they said, they did the right thing.
It's absolutely. That's what made it really good. That's what makes announcing really good. So there are some good home run calls. So is there one that you like, Frankie?
No. I can't think of one off the top of my head. I don't listen to I don't listen to the Yankees radio enough to get past the second inning. I'll switch it in a minute.
That's what makes them so good is without the visual. But there is one that does require a visual. Absolutely requires a visual. And I'm going to play it for you guys right now. And it happened last season. 1 second. Let me turn my camera around. Get it all set up and queued up for you guys.
Okay. Oh.
Now the 32 swung on a pop foul back here.
This Yankees radio announcer might be considering retirement after being hit by a foul ball during Saturday's game. And just right on.
That is the best.
He got hit by a foul ball and kept on going. I like how he said, but he kept on. He didn't curse. I'm impressed that he didn't
That's the
curse.
best, and he kept on going. If a Yankee got hit like that, they'd be out for 6 weeks.
Yes,
You know? And
the
he kept
Yankee
on working.
trainers. The Yankee trainers took better care of the 84-year-old announcer than they do their own players. It's really funny. Oh my goodness.
That had to hurt. I mean that
Absolutely had to hurt. So, Adam, you ready? I got your Stanton call. You ready, big guy? Here you go.
The pitch to Stanton. There it goes. Deep left, it is high. It is far. It is gone out of the ballpark. A Stantonian home run. Now, what did I do wrong? What did I see wrong? He's at first base.
That's because the ball hit off the wall and came right back to the player. That was a good one.
I think he's caught. I mean, in later years, it wasn't always high, far, and gone when it was a line drive, was it? Or that was the standard.
Yeah, that was it. All right. So here's another one just to make Adam happy.
Here's Judge. Man, the breaking ball is hit in the air to deep left. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. Unfortunately, that was a replay of the home run, but it was a good.
That was a good. They showed a replay of his home run from the day before, and he called it as if it was live. That was so funny. All right, I got another one since we're making Adam happy. Here we go, Adam.
High. The throw to second base is not in time. So Nix, the ball club, is walking off the field. I thought he called him safe. And meanwhile, they called him out. Didn't you see?
I thought safe. When Nix was standing on the plate, not strange. Struck out. I
see. It was strike three.
Strike three, you didn't know.
No
Strike three,
idea.
you didn't know.
Well, Adam, are you going to be there Saturday to say goodbye to him or what?
No. I'll listen to that one on the radio.
Hopefully they'll give him some parting gifts, and one of them is a box, and he unwraps it. It's Susan. He said you can take her with you. But
I love it. I've got a good one though that I love because it meant so much. Just listen, and you'll know it the minute you hear the sound.
Deep to left. Yastrzemski will not get its home run.
Bucky, he's not allowed on the show, I told you.
I love that one. You got to give it. You got it. That's a great call. And White is remembered forever for that call.
Yes, it was a great call.
It was great.
Was a great call.
I think the Roger Maris 61 home run was a.
Oh, I love that one. Do you have it?
No, I wish I did.
Do you have Rizzuto?
Nobody was there watching it.
No, hold it. Respect for Roger. Hold it.
Here we go. We got a couple of good ones for you. You ready? This is the one that this was a good one. I like this one.
Downtown goes Frazier. It's a 3-run home run. Oh, that Frazier will amaze you.
Clint Frazier has his own home run call, but didn't do very much as a Yankee. Unbelievable. Some of them are unbelievable.
So my son is asking us. My son's in class right now. Oh, that's a nice one.
Your son has no class.
My son, he's in class and he's asking me if we'll play his Don Carlo call, not the blunder. But can you
here I got it. I have it ready. I have it ready already. It's up and ready. It's his last home run call ever.
Oh, that's right.
And the pitch hit in the air to deep left. It is high. It is far. It is gone. It's a grand slam. No
That ball traveled far. Shot ball. He hits a grand slam deep in the left field seat. And the Yankees take up 5.
Well, you know, as young.
That was his last home run call ever.
That was a good one.
It was a good one. Oh, it was a good one.
Oh, and my brother just had to talk about the Susan calling Clemens in the coming back to the Yankees.
Oh my God!
He was in the box. I can't find that. I haven't looked for it, but I haven't found that one. Here's another blooper for you.
Just hit. Here's the 1-0. Swung on, there it goes. Deep left center. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. But caught. At the wall.
But caught.
But caught. There's other guys that have bloopers too. It's not just Stant. It's not just Sterling.
Out at first with nobody out. Mike stays put. And it's fouled away. Check that. It's hit well to the other way. And it's gone. Wall sends it out of here.
See, that's Matt Viscursion for the Angels. He's a new guy, and he made that mistake. So that's, you gotta say these guys do make mistakes. Here's one that you guys might like as well.
Hit on the editing break. It is high. It is far. It is gone. J.D. Gregorius homers with Ellsbury. Yes, indeedy. Gregorius makes Yankee fans euphoric.
There you go. And then last but not least, we'll go with what we're gonna go. I'm gonna play two more, and then we'll go back to the topic.
For Matt Holliday. Happy holiday. Happy holiday. Matt is back.
And last.
Jeter to lead it off, and Josh Beckett's first pitch swung on and drilled to deep right center. Back goes Baldelli at the track. It is gone. It went into the Boston bullpen. A first ball, fastball, first pitch, home run off the bat of the captain, Derek Jeter. In the 2700th hit of his major league career. El Capitan. And the Yankees take a 1-0 lead.
There you go. So,
all right, your brother has sent us something.
My brother?
Listen, I'm going to play it.
Go ahead, you play it.
I guess they cut the peeing her pants part. It's a family show. Thank you.
I have a question. If everybody dislikes her, maybe they don't. Maybe more people like her. But why is she there so many years?
Because nobody else would do the job and not get a chance to do play-by-play for 30 years. Even when Kay listening to Kay the last couple of days, he said he was able to do 2 to 3 innings or 4 innings sometimes when he was working with Sterling. But when Susan took the booth, never, ever again. She didn't do a single inning ever. So here's my brother Todd's got one more comment.
You guys forgot to mention that John Sterling got Charlie Steiner fired from the Yankee booth because Charlie Steiner jumped the Aaron Boone home run call against the Red Sox.
Right.
Charlie Steiner
Very good point.
Finished out the postseason, never did another Yankee game ever again.
He's now the Dodgers announcer.
Yeah, I like him.
And my brother has this question, and this came up. I saw this the other day. I brought this up in our chat the other day.
How come the Mets always seem to get much better announcers than the Yankees? Their TV booth is great.
So, Adam, you've got to control yourself with my next sentence. You know what's coming. I watch the Met games when I can because I have the app as well, and I watch them on the TV. And their sideline reporter guy, whoever it is, I don't even know the guy's name. He actually adds value to the game, even though Keith and Darling and Cohn are so much better than the Yankees guys. He adds real value. He doesn't just read an injury report. It's amazing to me that when you really let guys do it, the production value on the Mets broadcasts is so good, and the guys are so much better. It's amazing. I had to turn the Yankees off this week because Flaherty, as much baseball as he knows, which is more than I'll ever know, he has no personality and no
None.
sense of humor. He was killing me with Nelson. Nelson was making all these pop culture references, and Flaherty either ignored them or didn't get them. And I'm like, there was no camaraderie. And then this week, after that, Kay decided to go to Toronto. Same thing. Kay, it was just unbelievable. Nelson did his best to try and set up Flaherty for a whole bunch of stuff, and it just was like pulling teeth. He knows his baseball. He's an excellent baseball man, but he is just in the booth. He's got no personality.
He's so think vanilla. That
they're grooming.
The grooming
what was
who?
That, Frank?
What I said, he's just he's boring. I say he's vanilla, but he's not even vanilla. He just like I said, I don't think I've ever seen him smile.
He's melted vanilla. He's melted vanilla.
What you don't like Meredith Marakovich on the sidelines?
I think I don't dislike her. I've met her. She's a nice person, but the value, and I don't blame her for this. All she does is read injury reports. She doesn't do anything of value.
I think she gives
well, I don't get the post game.
Neither do I. I see him on Facebook, but she gives good questions, good follow-up questions. I think.
Okay.
And she does a lot of the pregame. She does a lot of the pregame. They have their own show.
I think she's not likable. I mean, she's just not likable. She's very good too.
Yeah. Well, what's funny to me is that on the MLB baseball app, the TV app that I get free from T-Mobile, by the way, the Yankees are like one of the few teams that don't let the pre and post game show be on. It's just so funny. They just, I don't know why Yes Network doesn't let them do it.
Because they want you to buy the Yes app.
Yeah, but you get the commercials anyhow.
Yeah.
So who knows?
I think that they're grooming, as I was going to say, I think they're grooming Nelson for a much bigger role. I think, and what's going to suck is that he's probably going to get something with Seattle. He's probably going to get something with MLB, and they'll, ESPN or something, because they think he's very good. And I think he's the best guy they've had in a long time, the best color guy. And I love Nelly, and not just because I like them.
I like Nelly and I like Cohn. Cohn gets a little bit too analytical and the analytics for me, but I love Nelly. And Nelly's splitting his time between the Marlins and the Yankees this year, as he did last year. I don't know.
He lives in Florida. I think he lives down.
But he has a show on MLB radio. Nelly. So Nelly's fantastic.
Nelly is great. The Yankees are lucky to have him. They really need to
I think that's
expand.
What you're missing in radio, you don't have. They can't afford it. No baseball ex-player is going to do 162 games. Mm-hmm. But having a player in the booth to give you insight that nobody else can give you. Something's going on.
Yankees don't even pay the guys that they have to do 162 games. I mean, let's face facts. Kay took a week off because he didn't feel like going to Cleveland. And he takes time off. And, even Rizzuto, when he was, in his prime, never took a game off.
No. But see, TV, they break it up. But radio, nobody's going to ever take that job. The next player will never take that job because they have to be there for the 162.
They don't. It's interesting how he makes that call. Like, why does he not go to Cleveland? Does he not like Cleveland? The decision's not to go places interesting.
Well, he usually
go to Seattle.
He usually doesn't come out to Oakland anymore. The last time he came to Oakland, all he talked about was this burger joint called Super Duper Burger, which is excellent, by the way. But that's all he talked about. And he doesn't come out to Oakland. I mean, they stay in San Francisco in a really nice hotel. I've seen them out there when I used to work in the city. But he doesn't come out here either. So anything else on Sterling or announcers that you guys want to get in?
I want to say it's been a great career, and he's a. I'm not back. I still can't stand the call, but I recognize the pop culture component, and I think he's been a great Yankee. And the fact that he's been there, he did 5,000 games or something in a row. I mean, that is incredible. So the stamina to be able to do that, you got to respect it. That I like. I think that they could have given him some direction and maybe told him that he should talk about the game, but but I thought for the most part, a great a good part of Yankee history for sure, and a lot of laughs. It'll never be funny like that again.
All right, so we got a couple of comments. We got two from Joe Osty. One is we'll start going through some of these trivia things we got. We'll
Okay.
start with Joe Osty, who's got two comments.
Great show tonight. Very funny. You should make Frankie a permanent guest on this show. And are you going to do trivia tonight, or is it going to be, maybe next week? All right. You guys let me know.
I think he's taking his painkillers. What's with the delays? Unbelievable. Frankie, he wants you now to say that he should be on the show every week because he was on last week.
Great.
All right. So here we go. Here's his trivia question. Here you go, just for you, Joe.
All right, on a trivia question. After the resumption of and following the Pine Tar game incident, what three Yankees played out of their regular positions? Before the end of the show, I'll give you the answers if you guys don't get it.
Well, I know two of them for sure. Guidry was
And
in
on
center
Rizzo,
field.
yeah, he definitely has a problem. Yeah, too many errors.
What does that have to do with the trivia? Anyhow, listening and talking and chewing gum. He must be chewing gum at the same time. Anyhow, we know that Mattingly was at second base and Guidry was in center field. Who else was out of position? Do you remember? I don't remember the third one.
Two.
Did they put who was pitching? Did they put a different pitcher on the mound? Like, did they put a non-pitcher on the mound? I don't recall. Well, Joe's going to have to call in now and tell us the answer. Like I said, give us
another
questions.
trivia question.
Yep, I got this one. Ready? We're going to go. Right. We're going to go with this. Here's our stumper. This is the one I read already, but
okay,
I know
you
some.
guys, here's one to try to stump you. How many Yankees have hit a home run in their first major league plate appearance? And can you name them?
Well, I read this question very well. I read the question. I could think of four off the top of my head.
Yes.
All right. Dominguez last year.
That was easy, yeah.
And we all know Marcus Thames hit a home run off Randy Johnson because if you go to fantasy camp, you know that because Marcus is there. And then you have Judge and Tyler Austin went back to back and belly to belly.
That's right.
So those are the four I know.
I think that's it.
Did Stan hit his first?
No, Stan played for the Marlins. It was not his first major league at bat.
Oh, his first major league at
bat.
He
did it in his first game. He did a home run in his first Yankee at bat. He did it in 2019.
I forgot about Judge.
Yeah, he hit his first home run. He did his first home run as a Yankee. A couple of other guys hit their first home run as a Yankee in their first plate appearance. Harrison Bader did, as a matter of fact. That's the other one that I could come up with. But those four I know hit it at their first at bat. I'm going to do a quick search right now and see what I could come up with. But I mean, Yankee history goes back to God knows before Frankie was born, and he's 107. So
now another Millerism here. And this is what I was going to say, and I thought this is what he was going with. I wasn't, the Mattingly game, the Pine Tar game had a funny subtext that Mattingly had a hitting streak going that he didn't hit in that game. If he had gotten a hit in that game, they would have brought together two hitting streaks. And Mattingly might have had, I think it was almost a 50-game hitting streak if the two of them were pulled together. So it was some crazy number, but he didn't get a hit in the game. But it gave him an opportunity to actually, break the American League, but maybe the National League record. He would have been one of the top guys ever to do that. But still, incredible story.
So, and the other thing my brother Richard chimed in is, have not mentioned my father mispronounces everybody's name. Anyhow, so I did the quick research on my computer while that was going on. So Dominguez was easy. Going through, I have every player ever that did it. Judge and Austin were the two previous to that. Previous to that was Thames. So I got the four most recent, and Thames was in 2002. And I would not necessarily have known Thames, but for fantasy camp.
Me too, yeah.
John Miller, no relation, in 1966, whoever John Miller is, he hit one on September 11th, 1966. We never would have gotten that. And that's it. So I got 4 out of 5. I'm very impressed with myself. Here, wait, let me hurt myself.
Very good. Very good.
There we go.
I got 2.
So, oh, here we go. So, Osti gave us his answer.
All right. Yeah, you're right. As far as Mangley playing second and Guidry playing center field, but Ken Griffey played first base.
Oh.
He played
a
first
little
base a lot.
Well, not a lot, but he
did.
played some first base for the Yankees. But I think that we got to move the show earlier in the day because Osti sounds like he's been sipping the scotch or whiskey for a while now.
He's been asleep for 3 hours. That's why. This is bedtime.
And this man is got to be mad at us because this is right up his alley. I mean, this trivia thing is right up his alley, and he hasn't chimed in a month. I mean, he is absolutely the live remote reporter for this show, but we don't have any live remotes. When he goes to a Yankee game, we got to have him do live remotes. Oh yeah, he doesn't go anymore. He won't go anymore.
Yeah, because
he's
it's like his Rosa Parks moment.
Unless he gets the tickets for free.
Well, it would have to be 2 tickets because he only does 2 meals for one. So I think we had a good time with this week's show. What do you guys think?
Show.
I think we had some fun.
Sterling.
Yes, hats off to John Sterling. Show your hat head.
John Sterling.
Adam doesn't have a hat.
I have a head.
And Adam, you're not doing the eulogy at my funeral. That's for sure.
Do not. I'll do it if you pay me. I'll be nice.
What are you, Kramer? I don't need you to be nice. You're just going to speak ill of the dead. I don't care if you make fun of me. I just don't want you to speak ill of me.
He's just 137 years old and retiring. It's about time.
I know he's older. He's older than Osti. Anyhow, watch for us next week. We'll figure out what the hell we're talking about maybe by then. And thanks for the trivia questions and thanks for all the input from everybody. We'll see you next week. And I want to leave you with one last Sterling home run call, and we'll call it a day.
Here's Casey McGee to lead it off. He popped up to the catcher's first arm and cuts that. Misses. No, he cuts it. It's a fly ball down the left field line. And the ball is foul. McGee is heading towards second as the throw comes in. And he's staying at second after there's a ball. So the ball went down the left field line. It must have hit it and kicked in the seats for a grounds rule double.
We all missed it. Everybody missed it. I thought it was a foul ball, but
And to be nice,
Shut up, Susan.
To be nice, I will end with a nice one. Here we go.
Susan.
One of my favorites, personally.
And here's the 2-2. Swung on, into the air to deep right. That ball is high. Hit a score. It is gone. Hideki Matsui does it again. The second game of the weekend. He has 2 homers in the ball game. A thriller by Godzilla. Oh, the Sayonara Kid. Third heads home. And the Yankees take a 8-4 lead.
There you go. We'll leave on that note. And we'll see you guys next time.
Sayonara.
Thanks, boys.
Bye-bye, guys.
Sayonara.